Hi, and welcome to this Fireside Chat. This is a special edition of our Fireside Chat. We are pre-recording it. So unfortunately, if you put questions in the comments, we can't get back to you right away. However, if you want to put questions in that comment section, we are happy to monitor that and we will get back to you. Today, we are talking with Lizz Addicott. Lizz is on the PMFRC Board of Directors. She is actually the secretary on our Board of Directors and has been on our board since 2018. As you may have seen from our Facebook page announcements and may have heard on the radio, we are actually in the process of recruiting new members for the board of directors. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to talk to Lizz about the process, about her role on the board, and just sort of maybe demystify the process of, what is a board member? What do they do? So if you're watching and you've been seeing the ads and you want to add your point of view and your opinions and your input to the process, but you're maybe a little bit shy about what the role is, this is going to give you a little bit more information and maybe encourage some people who weren't necessarily sure about their decision to hop in and maybe apply to join the board. Welcome, Lizz. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited. I'm happy to hopefully meet some new board members.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself so people know who you are and what is your involvement with the board?
Absolutely. So my name is Lizz Addicott. I'm the board secretary. So I'm responsible for taking board meeting minutes monthly at every meeting. I am a military spouse. My husband works with RCD, and my sister is also in the Air Force. So I didn't grow up in the military, but I have definitely, as an adult, been thrust into that life. So that's kind of what drove me to be interested in joining the PMFRC and volunteering my time there. I've been, as you said, doing this since 2018, which seems like a very long time ago. It's been a great learning opportunity, great to meet other people who are interested in giving their time and helping military families. And it's also been a really great way to further explore and see all the different resources and programs and support that the Petawawa MFRC does provide. I'm a teacher by trade, and I've lived in Petawawa most of my whole life. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm happy to see lots of applicants come in.
So maybe we just sort of talk about the fact that what does the board do? I mean, I think a lot of people know that a nonprofit has a board of directors, but what does the board do? What is their role, and sort of why are they important in the overall process? How does that sort of work through?
Right. So that's a big question we get often. And I guess unless you've really been on a board of directors, it can seem a little daunting, but it really isn't. So we don't really assist with the operational duties of the PMFRC, but we are responsible for oversight. And so we do the strategic planning for the PMFRC in tandem with everybody. And we have monthly meetings in which we make sure that what is happening within the organization is meeting the community needs, but is also in line with the strategic planning that we've set for the 3-year scope that we do. We're responsible also for fiscal oversight, as well as looking for things like risk management and those sorts of things that kind of pop up in an organization, and specifically in a non-for-profit organization that has many revenue funds. So just to make sure that we're kind of clicking all those boxes and everything is running smoothly. And so it's more like a governance role than it is operational.
So go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
So I guess my question is there's a lot there, like, fiscal oversight and strategic planning. And what if you're watching and you're thinking, I have no idea if I could even do that or what I would bring to the table? Is there training, or is it just like, do they expect you to know that when you come in?
So that's a great way of wording it, because I think that's exactly how I felt when I applied as a member of the board of directors. You're not expected to know everything once you come in. There is lots of training, and there is a great board orientation program day that is set up at the beginning once we do recruit new members, as it can be a bit transient because of the military community, right, and postings. So there's great PD that we offer, as well as current board members who have served for a while and who have a lot of experience in those areas, offer to mentor too. So you kind of team up with another board of director who can help you ease in and learn and answer any additional questions outside of regular meetings that you might have. Furthermore, every year we do additional PD for the whole board, which is an incredible opportunity to learn more about those things. I particularly felt that I was not as good with the fiscal part, the financial planning part. So I really try to listen and pay close attention to what Jana, our treasurer, says. And it has been a part of feedback that I have given in through our meetings to say I'd like some PD surrounding this, and we have had it. So it's been really informative, and I've been able to build lots of skills in areas that I maybe didn't have coming into it. That being said, those are two big skills that I talked about, but there's lots that the board is looking for, and we fill out a skills matrix every year that kind of drives what we're looking for in new board members. And it can be anything from marketing, bilingualism, understanding of military lifestyle and the PMFRC, community involvement, and experience listening to different stakeholders. So there's a wide range of skills and skill sets that we need to have a well-rounded board. So it's not any one person.
What kind of time commitment are you looking at? So, I mean, you said there was like a monthly meeting. Do you do some like prep work? Is there reading that you do before the meeting? Do you just sort of come? Are there other things that you can get involved at, once you've been on the board for a while?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, because I think that's something that somebody needs to know before taking on any volunteering activity and before deciding to give a chunk of their time. So this is giving your time, and there is a meeting, a minimum of one meeting, 10 months of the year, with the exclusion of July and August. And now we typically meet the first Wednesday of every month, just as that works, and it's easy to set in your schedule. Meetings are around 2 hours long. They could be longer, they could be shorter, depending on what's on the docket kind of that month, sorry. We have to prepare for each meeting by looking over financial documents, looking over our ED report, those sorts of things. So that can take some time, a few hours, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to prepare for a meeting. But we have a very organized ED as well as board of directors. So those resources and those materials are put up well in advance to give you lots of time to kind of plan, to sit down in one big chunk, or to pick away at it prior to the meeting. So those are minimums. Sometimes we have to have emergency meetings. They're not common and they're usually not long, but they do happen. In addition to those meetings and to being a board member, you also join a committee. So we have 3 committees. We have the finance committee, the development committee, and the governance committee. And those committees meet on average of once a month. And there is some committee work tied to that as well. So that hours can depend. So we just redid the board information package as a development committee. So that kind of was a little more monthly hours than maybe we did in October, for example. So, but it's not overwhelming. I do have a full-time job and a family, and I still am able to squeeze it all in. There's also other opportunities to give more of your time. So I'm the board secretary. So I do have to take the minutes and prepare the minutes and edit the minutes after. So that is a little bit more, but that's something I choose to do. There's other stuff that comes with that, more financial things, signing checks. So that's something that adds a little bit more time, but you can choose kind of to pick and choose on what parts you're able to do and what parts fit into your schedule. Perhaps it's a press opportunity or a photo. Those sorts of things can pop up, but we have a big board, and so we kind of take turns doing those activities and those extra bits. So I would say with the meetings monthly and your committee work, I would say you're looking at about 10 hours a month-ish. It's kind of hard to really put an exact number on it, but that's what you're looking at when you do decide to give your time to the board of directors. Additionally, about twice a year, we do have those PD opportunities that I talked about. And we try to do those in a full day. So it could be like one whole Saturday in February, but again, we book that far in advance so that it's a day that works for everybody, and the learning is very, very good. So it doesn't seem like you're giving up a Saturday. It feels like you're actually getting something. And we've done some also on a series of nights, just because that was easier for schedules. So there is some flexibility like that.
Do you find that there's some of the stuff that you've learned through the board training and being on the board has sort of helped you in other areas of your life? Were you kind of surprised at what you were, at your experience on the board, or was it pretty much what you thought it was going to be?
Um, a bit of both, I would say. Prior to my involvement in the board, I volunteered on my union as a union representative. So I had some understanding of Robert's Rules of Orders and like contracts and following a kind of a set plan that came along with that. So I feel like that kind of helped me with the governance side of being a board member. I think I've learned much more. I think the leadership skills that you gain from doing something like this, I don't think you would get that anywhere else. And from being around a table or on a Zoom screen like this with a bunch of people who have incredible skill sets in a variety of areas, I think has also really helped me gain some new skills. I think financial oversight being one of them. I think risk management and really looking at client safety and what it means to involve a whole community and keep a whole community safe and valued, I think has been something I've really learned while sitting on the board of directors. Again, I'm a teacher by trade, so that risk management piece is also really good for me as a teacher to take back to my career when planning lessons or when doing events or field trips, that kind of thing. It really has helped in my day-to-day life. It's also made me look for new ways to be involved in the community as well. I just think it's been invaluable personally. And I think the training opportunities that come with it is something you're not going to get somewhere else. And for anyone who works pretty much in any sector, private or public, it really is great initiative showing. And it gives you a lot of skills to bring back to those jobs too. And it helps you see kind of what's in your community and what stakeholders are out there and what services are there and what services aren't there and what kind of things are facing the people that live in our community today and how you can help and also where you can go to get help.
Now, one of the things about the PMFRC that I've always thought was interesting, the vast majority of our clients are military families in this area. And that is also reflected on our board of directors. Can you talk about who is on the board right now and sort of how that board is structured?
Yeah. So currently we are searching, I think, for, I should know the number right off the top of my head, but I think it's 4 or 5 board members. We have had some board members posted out or moved.
That is just one of the risks you take when you have a lot of military family members on a board.
Exactly. It comes with the job, right? But it is good though, because it helps you meet lots of different people and helps bring different skill sets to the board. So currently, oh man, I'm gonna have to try to list who we have on our board of directors. Our chair right now is Julia Graydon, and Julia is a principal in the Catholic school system here locally, and she's also a veteran wife. So she has many young kids, well, old now, I guess. So she's been in military life for a long time, and she has been a member of the board of directors for a very long time. So she's a wealth of information, and she's very organized, and she's very good at running our meetings and keeping us on time. So she's wonderful. We also have
so she is a veteran spouse and a military spouse, but the board has to be a certain percentage of military families, right?
Yeah, I think it's 51%. So it is great when we do recruit somebody who is a military partner or military family member in that way, because that helps meet our mandate in our handbook. So that's important.
And then we also have people on the board who are not military family members, correct?
Yes, we do. We do. We have board members who work at the hospital at an administrative level. We have board members who work for the government in probation and parole level. We have teachers. We have a little bit of everything, actually. And I'm trying to think currently, when we were looking at recruiting and filling out the board matrix, this was something that we looked at just to see how many military family members we can check off, just to make sure that we have the right amount. So if you are a military partner, that's even better. If you're not, don't worry, we still need your skill set, and we still want you to give your time to your community and to the PMFRC.
I think it's so important to have different types of voices and different people who are around the table to add their perspective. It's really important for us to hear from military family members because, that's who we're trying to serve. But by the same token, we're also part of this community. So, hearing that perspective as well is so important.
Well, and the resources and the community supports that are out there are not always just for military families, right? So it's helpful to know that they exist. One of our board members who is leaving us, unfortunately, was a member of the local health unit. And so that was really invaluable in these last few years when we're going through, the ever-changing policies and procedures surrounding COVID-19. So you would be surprised at the skills you can bring to a board without realizing that they are directly what we're looking for, but they are.
So you've done a great job selling this. And I'm sure there's somebody watching right now who's like, I really want to do this. How do they get involved? What's their next step if they're like, you know what? Liz is right. I should be on the board.
Liz is right. And you should be on the board. So you can contact our volunteer coordinator. And I think you said you would put the email in the comment section. You could also call the PMFRC, and her extension is 224, I think.
The telephone number is 613-687-2104. And we'll put that underneath as well. So you
perfect.
Can find that nice
and so all board members have to do a general volunteer application form, which they can get through the volunteer coordinator. We also ask that you submit a resume and a cover letter. It's a great opportunity to spiffy that up if you haven't done that in a while. And we also do a board member application profile, which again, you can get from the board coordinator or on the website as well. And it is important to note, and I don't want this to scare anybody, but there is an interview process that the board development committee that I'm a member of, as well as our chair, Julia, and Brianne and Amanda are a member of. We do interviews. Now, you won't be facing all four of us if that is intimidating, but we're not intimidating. But we do an interview process. And I was a little nervous before I had to do that, as I am with any interview, but it was also great practice for myself. And the questions really made me think and kind of framed what I'd be doing on the board. So I think it is a good opportunity. And so those are kind of the things you have to do: the paper application, the resume, cover letter. And then if we think that it meets kind of where our holes are on the board and what we need, then it's a short interview as well.
You said there was also a board orientation package. What is that? What's in that, and why is that?
So there's a board information package, and actually this is where you can kind of find all of the information I've been talking about today. It's really helpful. And when you apply for the board of directors, or when you submit your resume, our volunteer coordinator will send back the PMFRC Board of Directors information package, and it was recently updated. And it kind of has everything about an overview of the board of directors. So if you're still a little confused after listening to me, that could be helpful. It also goes over the general organization of the PMFRC, the board recruitment procedures, the responsibility and requirements of you if you decide to join the board of directors. And it has all the forms in there too, so you can kind of look at those there as well.
The other thing I'm going to put in the comment section, we do have a page on our website that has a profile of all the board members, just so you can sort of go through, see who's sitting around the table, and what they do, what their background is, just to give you a better idea of the types of voices that we're hearing and the types of, of people that you will be working with and learning from.
And yeah, there is a big spread of people and what people do and what they're bringing to the table. So I think it's great to look at that.
So what has been your most memorable moment? What is the one thing what experience that you've taken away that you sort of have enjoyed or has felt the most notable for you?
I think this is going to sound crazy because it seems very basic, but I honestly think just my board orientation in general, that presentation that we did as a group, and as all board members, and meeting all the board members and listening to Claudia, our ED, and our chair Julia speak, I think was the best thing I've done so far, because I think it really gave me a solid footing. It gave me confidence that I could do this, and it helped us kind of match up with mentors or mentees to move forward, knowing that you're supported. So I think that was really great. I do think all of the PD though is kind of my favorite. I won't lie, I was a little naive to what strategic planning would look like. But we have a wonderful leader who comes in and does that for us, Carla Engelhardt, and she's been like amazing to learn from. So I think just the extra PD opportunities are really what I'm a teacher though, I like to learn. So.
And it's been 4 years, so you're not the new kid anymore. You're one of the people that's going to be mentoring new folks.
I could be a mentor now, exactly. That would be wonderful.
Thank you so much for joining us. Like Liz said, the first step is to reach out to Sarah, our volunteer coordinator, and I'm going to put her email and her telephone number in the comments. She is excellent and she can bring you through the entire process. Liz, thank you so much for joining me and sort of talking about your experience, why you do what you do and why it's important. And like you said, I hope that there's some people watching today that are going to apply and you're going to have a new mentee on the board.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. One of the greatest things you can give to people is your time, and this is a great way to do that. So I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great day.